The risk is known. The response is chosen. Now comes the question: which controls? Not the most controls. Not the newest controls. Not the most expensive controls. The right controls. A common mistake seen every year. Candidates fall into the same trap. They fall in love with controls, firewalls, EDR, MFA, monitoring, encryption. All valuable, all useful. But CRISC asks, what risk are they addressing? What objective are they supporting? What exposure are they reducing? Because controls exist for one reason: to support risk treatments. Risk drives controls. Controls do not drive risk. Remember that. Risk first, control second. Risk first, control second. Preventive, detective, corrective. Preventive, detective, corrective. Stop it, find it, recover from it. Preventive, detective, corrective. That's the CRISC mentality. Preventive controls stop the event. They reduce likelihood. They block the threat. They close the door. Multi-factor authentication, access management, segregation of duties, network segmentation, security awareness, strong configuration. Preventive controls are proactive. They act before the damage, before the compromise, before the disruption. That's why CRISC often favors prevention when prevention is practical and cost effective. Preventive stops, detective discovers, corrective recovers. Preventive stops, detective discovers, corrective recovers. Risk before controls, governance before technology. That's the CRISC mentality. Sometimes prevention fails. No organization is perfect. That's where detection matters. Monitoring SIEM, threat hunting, audit reviews, log analysis, behavior analytics, alerts and investigations. Detective controls reduce dwell time, reduce uncertainty, increase visibility, help leadership understand reality. A mature organization doesn't assume. A mature organization observes. Detective controls create awareness. Awareness drives response. You can't manage what you can't see. You can't respond to what you don't know. Preventive stop, detective discovers, corrective recovers. Preventive stop, detective discovers, corrective recovers. Business before security. Risk before control. That's the CRISC mentality. The incident happened, now what? Recovery, resilience, restoration, backups, disaster recovery, incident response, business continuity. Corrective controls reduce impact. They help organizations recover, restore services, protect customers, protect operations. The goal isn't perfection, the goal is resilience. Because mature risk management assumes some events will happen. Prepare accordingly. Preventive stop, detective discovers, corrective recovers. Likelihood, visibility, recovery. Likelihood, visibility, recovery. Governance before technology. Business before security. That's the CRISC mentality. That's the CRISC mentality. More controls doesn't mean better security. More controls doesn't mean lower risk. More controls can create complexity. Complexity creates failure. Effective design means appropriate, proportionate, sustainable, measurable, aligned to risk, aligned to business objectives. The control nobody follows isn't a control. A process nobody understands isn't a process. A safeguard nobody measures won't remain effective. CRISC loves effectiveness, not volume. A risk is identified. Which control should be implemented? Wrong question. CRISC first asks, what response was selected? What risk is being addressed? What business objective is affected? Then choose the control. The strongest technical control may not be the best answer. The best answer supports the business decision. Preventive stop, detective discovers, corrective recovers. Likelihood, preventive stop, detective discovers, corrective recovers. Likelihood reduction, visibility creation, impact reduction. Likelihood reduction, visibility creation, impact reduction. Risk drives controls. Control support treatments. Risk drives controls. Control support treatments. Governance before technology. Business before security. Risk before control. Assessment before action. Governance before technology. Business before security. Risk before control. Assessment before action. That's the the CRISC mentality. What comes before controls? Risk. What drives control selection? Risk. What does preventive mean? Stop the event. What does detective mean? Find the event. What does corrective mean? Recover from the event. What reduces likelihood? Preventive con. Preventive con. The control is implemented. The project is complete. The dashboard is green. Everyone relaxes. That's the mistake. Because a control implemented is not the same as a control working. A new control goes live, management celebrates, risk treatment approved, budget delivered, project complete. But CRISC asks, is the control effective? Not designed well, not documented well, not intended well, actually effective. Does it reduce risk? Does it support objectives? Does it operate consistently? Can leadership rely on it? Because controls drift, processes weaken, people change, threats evolve. Monitoring is what separates hope from assurance. Implemented isn't enough, designed isn't enough, operating effectively, that's the goal. Monitor, measure, evaluate, improve. Monitor, measure, evaluate, improve. Controls must perform, controls must deliver. Governance before technology, business before security, risk before controls. That's the CRISC mentality. Two indicators, different purposes. One exam favor, one common trap. Key risk indicator measures exposure, provides warning, tells leaders risk is rising, risk is falling, risk is changing. Failed login trends, vendor risk scores, critical vulnerability counts, privilege growth, threat activity, exposure indicators. Now KPI, key performance indicator, measures achievement, measures outcome, service delivery, recovery, objectives, patch completion, training rates, performance indicators. What could go wrong? KPI asks, how are we performing? Measures exposure, KPI. Measures performance, IPS. Measures exposure, KPI. Measures performance, risk before controls, business before technology, governance before technology. That's the CRISC mentality. A policy exists, does anyone follow it? A process exists, does anyone execute it? A control exists, does it actually work? Testing answers the question, walkthroughs, reviews, sampling, inspection, observation, validation, evidence matters, assumptions don't control design, control operation, control effectiveness. Three different things. A control can be designed perfectly and fail completely in operation. CRISC understands the difference, you should too. Designed, operating, effective. Three different questions. Designed, operating, effective. Designed, operating, effective. Can it work? Does it work? Does it reduce risk? Governance before technology. That's the CRISC mentality. The threat landscape changes, the business changes, technology changes, the control environment changes. That's why monitoring never ends. Daily metrics, weekly reviews, monthly reporting, quarterly assessments, continuous awareness, continuous visibility, continuous governance. Because risk management is not a project, it's a capability, not a destination, a discipline. Mature organizations don't wait for audits, they monitor continuously. They identify deterioration early before incidents become headlines. Monitor, measure, evaluate, improve. Monitor, measure, evaluate, improve. Visibility creates awareness, awareness drives decisions, governance before technology, business before technology. That's the CRISC mentality. Executives don't need every log, boards don't need every alert. Leadership needs insight, meaning context, decision support. What risks are increasing, which controls are weakening, what exposures require attention, what trends matter. Good reporting drives action, bad reporting creates noise. CRISC values communication, not data overload. Translate technical reality into business understanding. That's risk leadership. A control has been implemented. What should happen next? Move on? Wrong. Close the project? Wrong. Assume effectiveness? Wrong. Monitor performance? Validate operation? Measure effectiveness? Because implementation does not equal assurance. CRISC rewards verification, not assumptions. Monitor, measure, evaluate, improve. Monitor, measure, evaluate, improve. Design, operating, effective. Design, operating, effective. Can it work? Does it it work? Does it reduce risk? Governance before technology. Business before technology. Business before security. Risk before controls. Assessment before action. Governance before technology. Business before technology. That's the CRISC mentality. What comes after implementation? Monitoring. No framework. No governance.
No governance.
No risk management.
No risk management.
No business trust.
Frameworks.
Rule everything.
Governance.
COSO.
Enterprise risk.
ISO 31000.
Risk management.
NIST RMF.
Risk life cycle.
COVID.
Governance.
COSO.
Enterprise risk.
Know the framework.
Know the answer.
Board wants oversight. Where do we go?
COVID.
Governance flow.
With business objectives, strategic alignment, value delivery, performance refinement.
Governance system.
Governance framework, policies, processes, leadership, direction.
COVID drives governance.
That's the connection.
COVID.
Governance.
COVID. Governance.
Board direction.
Management.
Execution. Governance.
COVID. Governance.
Know the framework.
Know the answer.
Memory loop one. Who owns governance?
COVID.
Who aligns business?
COVID.
Who drives oversight?
COVID.
Governance.
Governance. Governance. Governance.
Enterprise.
Enterprise risk.
Whole organization.
Financial.
Operational, strategic.
Compliance.
What framework?
COSO.
What framework?
COSO. Risk culture.
Risk appetite.
Risk response.
Risk oversight.
Enterprise wide.
Top to bottom.
COSO.
COSO.
Enterprise risk.
Entertight tolerance.
Response.
Monitoring. COSO.
Enterprise risk.
Know the framework.
Know the answer.
Memory loop 2. Enterprise.
Risk.
COSO. Enterprise.
Risk. Enterprise.
COSO. Again.
Enterprise. Risk.
COSO.
Enterprise. Identify. Assess.
Treat. Monitor.
Risk management.
End to end.
What framework?
ISO 31000.
Principles. Framework.
Process.
Risk management.
Business context. Stakeholders. Continuous improvement. ISO 31000.
Remember the number. Remember the flow.
ISO 31000.
Risk management.
ISO 31000.
Risk management.
Identify.
Assess.
Treat. Monitor.
ISO
31000.
Risk management.
Know the framework.
Know the answer.
Categorize. Select.
Implement.
Assess.
Authorize.
Monitor.
Again.
Categorize. Select.
Implement.
Assess.
Authorize.
Monitor.
NIST RMF.
NIST RMF.
NIST RMF.
NIST RMF.
NIST RMF.
Risk management framework.
Life cycle thinking.
Continuous monitoring. Authorization decision.
Risk informed operations. NIST RMF.
Life cycle.
NIST RMF.
Life cycle.
Categorize.
Select. Implement.
Assess.
Authorize. Monitor.
NIST RMF.
Life cycle.
Know the answer.
Life cycle.
ISO.
2701.
ISMs.
COVID.
Governance.
COSO.
Enterprise risk.
ISO 30000.
Risk management.
NIST RMF.
Life cycle.
3 lines. Accountability. ISO 2701.
ISMs.
COVID.
Governance.
COSO. Enterprise.
Risk.
ISO 30000.
Life cycle.
NIST RMF.
Life cycle.
3 lines. Accountability. ISO 2701.
ISMs.
COVID.
Governance.
COSO.
Enterprise risk.
ISO 30000.
Life cycle.
NIST RMF.
Life cycle.
3 lines. Accountability. 3 lines. Accountability.
COVID. Yeah. Cyber Cert Beats. The CRISC Bootcamp. 2 weeks to go. No guessing. No memorizing questions. Understand the language. Master the language. Master the exam. Master the exam. Before the controls, before the fix. Before the board starts making picks. You need the language, know what sticks, the terms they test. the subtle tricks, risk appetite, strategic view. How much risk are we willing to pursue? Boardroom level, organization-wide, sets the course for the enterprise. Risk tolerance, a different lane, operational limits that we maintain. How far can metrics drift away before management has something to say? Inherent risk before control, raw exposure, the starting role. Residual risk after control stand, the risk that's left in the business plan. Appetite sets direction, tolerance sets the line. Inherent before protection, residual after design. Business owns residual risk, remember that every time. Governance before technology, that's the CRISC state of mind. Governance before technology, business before security, risk before controls, assessment before activity. Governance before technology, business before security, risk before controls. That's the CRISC mentality. Who owns risk, not security? Who decides business leadership? Risk owner carries accountability, makes the call on acceptability. Control owner runs the safeguard layer, maintains the process day by day. Here, different responsibilities, different role. CRISC will test if you know the goal. Pride gives warning before the fire. Risk exposure starts to climb higher. Indicators telling you where to look. A future-focused management book. KPI tracks performance gain. Objectives met, maintaining lane. One measures risk, one measures success. Know the difference and you'll score best. Risk owner owns the risk. Control owner owns the control. Crime measures exposure. KPI measures goals. Governance before technology, business before security, risk before controls, assessment before activity. Governance before technology, business before security, risk before controls. That's the CRISC mentality. Threat is danger, threat is force. Could be inside a malware source, nation state or ransomware crew. Anything capable of harming you. Vulnerability is weakness found. The crack beneath the stable ground. Weak password systems unpatched. Open doors waiting to be matched. Threat plus weakness creates the chance. Risk emerges from circumstance. Likelihood meets impact too. That's the framework CRISC looks through. Not every threat becomes a breach. Not every weakness gets in reach. Understand the relationship, that's exam point. Ownership. Threat is danger. Vulnerability is weakness. Likelihood and impact measure is completeness.
Governance before technology,
Business
before security,
risk
before controls,
assessment.
before activity. Governance before technology,
Business
before security,
risk.
before controls.
That's the CRISC mentality. Listen close, this is where professionals lose marks. The strongest control is not always the right answer. The fastest response is not always the right answer. The security answer is not always the CRISC answer. First identify, then assess, then analyze, then decide, then respond, then monitor. Business first, risk first, governance first, always. Appetite, strategic, tolerance, operational, inherent before control, residual after implementation. Risk owner owns risk. Control owner owns control. Crime measures exposure. KPI measures goal. Threat is danger, vulnerability, weakness. Likelihood and impact, drive risk completeness.
Governance before technology,
Business
before security, risk before controls,
assessment.
before activity.
Governance before technology.
Business
Before security.
risk,
Before controls.
assessment,
Before activity.
governance before
Governance before technology. Business before security. Risk before controls. That's the CRISC mentality. Question: who accepts residual risk? Risk owner. Question: what remains after controls? Residual risk. Question: what measures exposure? Question: measures performance KPI. What question? What comes before controls? Risk assessment. Question. What comes before action? Analysis. Question. What comes before technology? Governance. Question. What comes before security? Question. Risk. Question. Question. What comes before controls? Risk. Cyber Cert Beats. The language of risk. Learn the language.
You found the risk. Now what? Not panic, not controls, not spending money assessment, because a risk that isn't understood cannot be managed. You've identified the threat, you've identified the asset, you've identified the weakness. Now leadership asks, how serious is it? That's assessment, not guessing, not assumptions, not fear. Assessment transforms uncertainty into decisions, because every risk competes for resources. Every department wants attention, every team wants budget. Assessment helps leaders decide what matters most, what happens first, what gets funded, what gets accepted. Understand it before you treat it, measure it before you manage it. Likelihood, impact, likelihood, impact. How likely, how severe? That's the assessment mindset. Likelihood, impact. Likelihood, impact, likelihood, impact. Risk before controls. Assessment before action. Governance before technology. That's the CRISC mentality. How likely is the event? That's the question, not whether it's possible. Anything is possible. CRISC wants probability. Has it happened before? Are threats acted today? Are controls effective? How exposes the environment? Strong threat activity, likelihood rises. Weak controls, likelihood rises. Known exploitation, likelihood rises. Mature safeguards, likelihood falls. Assessment is evidence, not opinion. Measure the probability, measure the consequence. Risk before controls. Assessment before action. Impact. Now measure the damage. What happens if the risk becomes reality? Revenue loss, operational disruption, customer harm, regulatory penalties, brand damage, strategic delay. Some impacts are immediate, some impacts unfold over time. CRISC doesn't stop at technology. The server outage isn't the impact. The business consequence is the impact. The compromise account isn't the impact. The operational loss is the impact. Always follow the chain. Technology event, business consequence, leadership impact.
Follow the outcome, follow the consequence.
Think like leadership.
Likelihood, impact.
Technology creates events. Business experience impact. Technology creates events. Business experience impact. Governance before technology. Business before security. That's the CRISC mentality. Two ways to assess: qualitative, quantitative, high, medium, low, simple, fast, effective. Qualitative helps prioritize, quantitative adds number, single loss expectancy, annual rate of occurrence, annual loss expectancy, annual loss expectancy, annual loss expectancy, annual lay again, SLE, arroway, expected financial exposure, expected business loss, expected annual risk. Numbers support decisions, but numbers alone don't decide. Business context decides, SLE, arroway, expected loss today. Expected loss today. Expected annual exposure. Expected annual exposure. Likelihood, impact.
Likelihood, impact.
Risk before controls.
Likelihood, impact.
Risk before controls.
Likelihood, impact.
Risk before controls.
Likelihood, impact.
Risk before controls. Assessment. Routine analysis, assessment becomes leadership. Not every risk gets equal treatment. Some risk threaten strategy, some risk threaten operations, some risk threaten compliance, some risk barely matter. Assessment creates prioritization, drive response drives investment. Investment drives protection. The purpose isn't perfect scoring, the purpose is better decisions. A mature organization understands resources are limited, attention is limited. Assessment helps focus effort where it matters most. Picture significant vulnerability is discovered. What should happen next? Deploy controls immediately. Wrong. Purchase technology. Wrong. Escalate to the board. Not yet.
Likelihood, impact, likelihood, impact.
Business consequence.
Likelihood, impact, likelihood, impact.
Risk before controls. How likely? How severe? How likely? How severe?
Likelihood, impact, likelihood.
Risk before controls. Assessment.
What comes before controls?
Assessment. Likelihood. Impact.
What comes before controls?
Assessment. What does SLE mean? Single loss expectancy. What does arrow mean? Annual rate of occurrence. What does allo mean? Annual loss expectancy. Technology creates what? Events. Business experience is what? Impact. What comes before action? Analysis. Cyber Cert Beats. CRISC Track 5. Risk assessment. Understand the risk, then manage the risk.
Before you assess, before you mitigate, before you report, you must identify. Because the greatest risk is the risk you never saw. A system fails. A system fails. A system fails. A supplier breaks. A process stops. A customer waits. But CRISC asks deeper questions first. What business objective is at risk? Revenue targets, customer trust, operational delivery, regulatory compliance. Because technology isn't the asset. Technology supports the asset. The real asset, business value. Every risk starts with understanding. What are we trying to achieve? And what could stop us? Business first, always. Business first, always. Identify the objective. Identify the asset. Identify the threat. Identify the weakness. Objective, asset, threat, vulnerability. That's how CRISC sees reality. Governance before technology. Business before security. Risk before control. That's the CRISC mentality. That's the CRISC mentality. Risk identification isn't making a list, it's building a story, your business story, an operational story, your risk scenario, threat act, the target asset, exploited weakness, business impact. That's the formula again. Threat act, the target asset, exploited weakness, business impact. The ransomware group attacks a warehouse platform. That's not the risk. The risk is operational fulfillment disruption, customer dissatisfaction, revenue impact, strategic consequence. CRISC always follows the business outcome, not the technical event. Threat actor, target asset, exploited weakness, business impact. Threat actor, target asset, exploited weakness, business impact. Governance before technology, business before security, risk before control. That's the CRISC mentality. Where do risk come from? Everywhere. Internal, external, strategic, operational, regulatory, financial, human error, inside a threat, third-party failure, natural disaster, technology failure, market disruption, supply chain weakness, new regulation, acquisition risk, cloud dependency, CRISC extends breadth, not tunnel vision. The strongest risk managers see beyond cyber because cyber is only one category of business risk. Think wider, think broader, think business. Strategic risk, operational risk, compliance risk, financial risk, internal risk, external risk, business risk, enterprise risk, governance before technology, business before security, risk before control. This is CRISC mentality. How do mature organizations identify? Workshops, interviews, risk assessments, control reviews, incident analysis, audit findings, threat intelligence, scenario planning, loss and vets, trend analysis, lessons learned, business engagement. Risk registers help organize, but a register isn't identification. Conversations identify, understanding identifies, curiosity identifies, visibility identifies. The register records, the organization discovers. Listen carefully. A new threat emerges. What comes first? Deploy controls? No. Buy technology? No. Escalate immediately? Not necessarily. First understand, is the threat relevant? Which assets are exposed? Which objectives are affected? How significant is the risk? CRISC rewards understanding before action. Always. Identify the the objective.
Identify the asset.
Identify the threat.
Identify the weakness.
Objective, asset, threat.
Vulnerability.
Actor. Target asset.
Exploited weakness. Business impact. Business impact.
Actor.
Target asset. Exploited weakness. Business impact. Business impact.
This is before security. This is before controls.
That's the CRISC mentality. That's the CRISC mentality. What comes before assessment? Identification. What comes before mitigation? What comes before monitoring? Identification. A threat plus a weakness creates risk exposure. What matters most? Business objectives. Technology supports what? Business value.
Cyber Cert Beats. Every question, every scenario, every case study follows a cycle. Understand the cycle. Understand the exam. Understand the exam. A system exposed, the threat appears, management starts expressing fears. Where do we start with step one? Not controls, the work's not begun. First we identify what could go wrong. Assets and threats all day long. Business processes, critical flows. Understanding where exposure grows. You can't protect what you cannot see. Visibility drives maturity. The strongest program in every case starts with understanding the risk landscape. The board wants answers, leaders need facts, not assumptions hidden in stacks. Before the treatment, before the fix, CRISC begins with identifying risk. Don't jump ahead, don't skip the stage. The exam is watching every page. Identify, assess, respond, monitor. Identify, assess, respond, monitor. Governance before technology. Business before security. Risk before controls. Assessment before activity. Identify, assess, respond, monitor. Assessment is everything. Now we assess, what does it mean? Understanding the threat that's seen. Likelihood high, impact severe. How much exposure lies right here? Qualitative, quantitative too. Different methods, same review. Understanding business harm before sounding the alarm. Single loss expectancy. Annual rate of occurrence, annual loss expectancy. Know the language, know the flow. The exam expects you all to know. Prioritize what matters most. Focus resources where risk is close. Not every issue gets equal weight. Assessment determines what we escalate. Identify, assess, respond, monitor. Identify, assess, respond, monitor. Governments before technology. Business before security. Risk before control. Assessment before activity. Here's where candidates often fail. They see a control and jump the rail. MFA, encryption, monitoring too. Maybe they're right, but not yet for you. The CRISC mindset starts with review. Understand the business view. Determine response after analysis. Not through technical paralysis. Accept the risk. Transfer the cost. Mitigate exposure. Avoid the loss. For responses, know them well. They appear throughout the exam as well. The strongest control isn't always best. The best decision passes the test because CRISC asks what management needs, not simply what security leads. Listen carefully. Question. A new risk is discovered. What should happen first? Implement controls? No. Purchase technology? No. Escalate immediately? Maybe not. First understand, first assess, first analyze, then act. The exam rewards process, not panic. The exam rewards governance, not reaction. Identify, assess, respond, monitor. Identify, assess, respond, monitor. Business owns risk, management decides, control support, governance guides. Business owns risk, management decides, control support, governance guides. risk isn't static, risk evolves. Threats emerge, exposure evolves, controls weaken. Businesses change, attack surfaces rearrange. That's why monitoring never stops. Not after audits, not after workshops. CRISC helping leaders see changes in exposure continuously. Dashboards, metrics, reporting to, giving management an updated view. A mature program understands risk management is never planned as a project with an end date line. It's a continuous discipline.
Identify, assess, respond, monitor. Identify, assess, respond, monitor.
Report. Before controls,
Assess,
before action,
assess,
before technology,
governance,
before security,
business,
before mitigation,
assessment,
before decisions.
analysis.
Identify.
Assess, respond, monitor.
That's the CRISC mentality. What comes first? Identify.
After identify,
Assess.
after assess, after respond, monitor.
After monitor.
Report, then.
What
Comes before controls, assessment. What comes before action? Analysis. Who owns risk? The business. Who supports risk management? Security. What drives CRISC? Governance. What drives decisions?
business objectives?
Cyber Cert Beats. The risk life cycle. Master the process.
The risk is identified. The risk is assessed. Leadership understands the exposure. Now comes the question. What should we do about it? Welcome to Risk Response. Don't jump to controls or vulnerability found. The threat is active, exposure confirmed. Management is asking, what's next? The average candidate says, deploy controls, patch everything, buy technology, move quickly. But CRISC asks something different. Is the response appropriate? Is it aligned to business objectives? Is the cost justified? Does it reduce risk effectively? Because every treatment has a price. Every decision has trade-offs. Every response affects the business.
Understand first,
Respond second.
analyze first,
Act second.
Accept, mitigate,
transfer,
Avoid.
accept, mitigate,
transfer.
Avoid. Four responses, know them well. Every CRISC question, every scenario. Governance before technology. Business before security. Risk before controls.
That's the CRISC mentality.
Sometimes the risk remains, sometimes the treatment costs too much, sometimes the exposure is small, sometimes leadership chooses acceptance. Not because they don't care, because they understand, because they've assessed, because they've made an informed decision.
Risk acceptance is not ignorance.
Risk acceptance is governance.
Risk acceptance is leadership.
Risk acceptance is accountability. And remember,
Residual risk belongs to the business,
not security,
not audit.
not compliance.
The business owns the decision.
accept, mitigate,
Transfer.
Avoid. Residual risk belongs to the business.
Residual risk belongs to the business.
governance before technology.
Business before security. Risk before controls.
That's the CRISC mentality.
This is the response most people know. Reduce likelihood, reduce impact, implement controls, strengthen processes, improve detection, increase resilience, MFA.
Segmentation.
Monitoring, recovery, planning, training, awareness, but mitigation isn't automatic.
The cost matters.
The benefit matters.
The reduction matters.
CRISC wants effectiveness,
Not control quantity.
not control complexity.
Effective risk reduction.
Aligned with business objectives.
More controls.
Doesn't always mean
Better decision.
Accept, mitigate,
Transfer.
avoid. Choose the response that fits the business.
accept, mitigate,
Transfer.
Avoid. That's risk management, not technology management.
Transfer. Shift financial exposure.
Insurance policies,
Contractual obligations.
third-party agreements.
The risk may still occur.
But the financial impact changes.
Remember that.
Transfer doesn't remove risk, it transfers consequences.
Now avoid.
The strongest response, eliminate the activity.
Eliminate the exposure.
Stop the process.
Leave the market.
Cancel the initiative.
No activity.
No associated risk.
But avoiding risk can also.
Eliminate opportunity.
That's why business context matters always.
accept, mitigate,
Transfer.
Avoid. Transfer shifts consequences.
mitigate,
Transfer.
Avoid.
Governance before technology.
Business before security. Risk before controls.
That's the CRISC mentality.
A control cost £1 million. The annual expected loss?
50,000.
Should it be implemented?
Probably not.
Why?
Cost exceeds benefit.
CRISC constantly evaluates
Risk reduction.
implementation cost,
Operational impact.
business value.
The goal isn't eliminating risk.
The goal is optimizing risk.
That's executive thinking.
Board level thinking.
That's CRISC thinking.
A significant risk is identified.
What's the best response?
The strongest control? Not necessarily. The fastest action? Not necessarily. The most expensive solution?
Definitely not.
The correct answer is usually
The response aligned with business objectives.
the response justified by assessment.
The response supported by cost-benefit analysis.
CRISC rewards judgment.
Not technical enthusiasm.
Accept, mitigate,
Transfer.
avoid. Accept, mitigate,
Transfer.
avoid.
Residual risk belongs to the business. Residual risk belongs to the business.
Transfer.
Shifts consequences.
Avoid, remove exposure.
Mitigate.
Reduces likelihood or impact.
Acceptance is informed governance.
Governance before technology.
Business before security.
Risk before controls.
Assessments
Before action.
Governance before technology.
business
Before security.
Risk for controls.
Assessments before action.
That's the CRISC mentality. 4 responses.
Mitigate.
Transfer.
Avoid.
Who accepts?
Residual risk.
The business.
Who owns residual risk?
The business.
What does mitigation do?
Reduce likelihood or impact.
What does transfer do?
Shift consequences. What does avoid do?
Eliminate exposure.
What comes before response? Assessment. What comes before mitigation?
Analysis. The exam isn't testing whether you can secure a server. It's testing whether you can govern risk. Because technology changes, governance endures. Let's go. What is governance? Governance is in operations. Governance is in implementation. Governance creates direction. Governance creates accountability. Governance defines objectives, defines risk appetite, defines expectations, defines oversight. The board doesn't patch systems. The board doesn't manage firewalls. The board establishes direction. Executive management translates strategy. Operations execute. That's the hierarchy. That's the model. That's CRISC. Direction, accountability, oversight, governance. Governance. The board sets direction. Management executes. Risk management guides. Audit. Verifies. The board sets direction. Management executes. Risk management guides. Audit. Verifies. Governance before technology. Business before security. Risk before control. That's the CRISC mentality. The board owns governance, not daily operations, not tactical decisions. Governance. The board approves risk appetite, reviews major exposures, provides oversight, protects stakeholder interest, asks the important questions. Are objectives at risk? Are exposures understood? Are decisions informed? Are controls effective? The board doesn't need every vulnerability. The board needs meaningful risk information translated into business language, strategic language, decision language. The board sets direction. Management executes. Risk management guides. Audit. Verifies. The board sets direction. Management executes. Risk management guides. Audit. Verifies. This is before technology. That's the CRISC mentality. Policies don't create culture. People create culture. Leadership creates culture. Incentives create culture. structure. Behavior creates culture. A policy can say, manage risk, but culture determines whether people actually do. A mature risk culture encourages transparency, escalation, accountability, learning, challenge, communication. Strong culture identifies issues early. Weak culture hides problems. Strong culture supports governance. Weak culture undermines governance. CRISC understands that. Culture drives behavior. Behavior drives outcomes. Culture shapes decisions. Culture shapes outcomes. Culture shapes decisions. Culture shapes outcomes. Strong culture strengthens governance. Strong culture strengthens risk management. Governance before technology. That's the CRISC mentality. Policies establish expectations. Standards establish requirements. Procedures establish execution. Frameworks establish structure. Different documents, different purposes. One common exam track. Policies answer what must happen. Standards answer what is required. Procedures answer how is it performed. Frameworks answer how is it organized. Know the difference, CRISC often asks. Policy, standard, procedure. Framework, policy, standard, procedure. Framework, different purpose, different role. Governance before technology. That's the CRISC mentality. 100-page report, nobody reads it. 1,000 metrics, nobody understands them. Good reporting creates action. Bad reporting creates confusion. Effective reporting answers what's changing, what matters, what requires a decision, what threatens objectives. Executives need context, boards need trends, management needs detail. Different audiences, different reporting, same objective, better decision. Information becomes insight, insight becomes action. A major risk emerges. Who should approve changes to risk appetite? Security leadership? No. Risk management? No. The board? Question. Who should manage the risks? The board? No. Operations? Management? Risk owners? CRISC constantly separates. Governance? Management? Execution? Don't confuse them. Risk management guides. Audits? Verifies. The board sets direction. Management executes. Risk management guides. Audits. Verifies. Policy defines expectations. Standards define requirements. Procedures define execution. Frameworks define structure. Culture shapes behavior. Behavior shapes outcomes. Culture shapes behavior. Behavior shapes outcomes. Governance before technology. Business before security. Risk before control. Assessment before action. Governance before technology. Business before security. Risk before controls. Assessment before action. That's the CRISC mentality. Who sets risk appetite? The board. One of the biggest exam mistakes. People think risk belongs to security. It doesn't. People think audit manages risk. It doesn't. People think compliance owns risk. It doesn't. Let's fix that. Who owns the risk? A warehouse system goes offline. A supplier fails. Customer orders decline. Who owns the risk? The security team? No. Internal audit? No. Compliance? No. The business owns the risk. The people responsible for objectives. The people accountable for outcomes. The people running operations. That's the first line. Business management, operational leadership, process ownership, accountability lives here. Risk ownership lives here. Decision making lives here. Remember that. Ownership, accountability, first line. First line, second line, overseas. Third line, assures. First line, second line, overseas. Third line, assures. Business owns risk, governance guides, independent assurance verifies. That's the CRISC mentality. The first line, operations, delivery, execution. The team's achieving objectives, the managers delivering results. The leaders running the business, they identify risk, they manage risk, they operate controls, they accept residual risk. Not security, not audit, the first line. Because risk belongs closest to the activity, closest to the process, closest to the outcome. CRISC tests this constantly. Ownership stays with the business. First line, second line, overseas. Third line, assured. First line, second line, overseas. Third line, assured. Business owns risk, business owns risk. That's the CRISC mentality. Now enter oversight, security, governance, policy teams, framework teams, advisory functions. The second line doesn't own risk. The second line doesn't accept risk. The second line doesn't run operations. The second line provides guidance, CRISC standards, monitors compliance, supports decision making, challenges assumptions, promotes consistency. This is where many security functions live, not as owners, as advisors, as overseers, as enablers. Support, challenge, guide, oversee.
First line owns,
Second line oversees, third line assures.
first line owns,
Second line oversees,
third line assures.
ownership, oversight, assurance. That's the CRISC mentality. Now comes independence, internal audit, independent assurance, independent evaluation, independent review. The third line doesn't design controls. The third line doesn't manage risk. The third line doesn't own outcomes. The third line assesses effectiveness, provides assurance to leadership, provides confidence to the board, evaluates governance, evaluates risk management, evaluates controls objectively, independently, without operational responsibility, because assurance only works when independence exists.
First line owns,
Second line oversees,
third line assures. First line owns,
second line oversees,
third line assures.
ownership, oversight, assurance. That's the CRISC mentality. How the Exxon test it, the question changes, the principle stays the same. Who should accept residual risk?
First line,
Who owns the business objective?
first line,
Who develops risk frameworks?
second
Who
line,
monitors policy compliance?
second line,
Who evaluates control effectiveness independently?
third line,
Who reports assurance to the board?
third line.
Different wording, same model, different scenario, same answer.
That's why.
Mastering the structure matters. Question: a significant risk remains after controls are implemented. Who should decide whether to accept it? Security? Audit? Compliance? The risk owner? The business owner?
First line,
CRISC rewards accountability, not technical authority.
first line,
CRISC rewards accountability, not technical authority.
first line owns,
Second line oversees,
third line assures. First line owns,
second line oversees.
third line assures.
Business old risk, it's the second line guide.
Third line verified.
Business old risk, it's the second line guide.
Third line verified.
Ownership, oversight, assurance.
Ownership, oversight.
Assurance, governance before technology. Business before security, risk before controls. Assessment before action. That's the CRISC mentality. Who owns risk? First line. Who owns objective?
First line,
Who accepts residual risk?
first line,
Who provides oversight?
second line,
Who monitors policy compliance?
second line,
Who monitors compliance?
second line,
Who provides independent assurance?
third line.
Who evaluates governance?